I just felt like I was thrown into all this information. I was just like floating around all over the place, and I like left the lecture being like, ah, I have no idea what just happened and like what I'm supposed to take away from that.
What was the what's the subject?
It was some sort of ecology. Let me think. Oh, what was it?
You're like, I was so bored by the lecture. I had no takeaways. I don't even remember what the subject was. Okay, well, I can start off with how I've always had a really, really easy time in school. Not that I liked all of my subjects, but in general, I can just remember most of the things that we've learned. I didn't do that much studying or reviewing in language arts or history because I just kind of, as long as I was listening to the teacher, my SI would just remember it and I would do well on the test. So,
Yeah, that is something I struggled with a lot in those certain classes where you just had to like history where you had to just know certain facts in order to like build an argument in an essay. Like, that was so difficult for me. I would like try like going over and memorizing things over and over, and I'm just eventually kind of like, I don't know. Maybe timelines is something that I eventually kind of got. I think that might be a more NI construct. So I could kind of just like vaguely have this general order of things, but not really remember the specific events very well.
yeah, I don't think I was ever good at timelines. So I would remember all of these details just because, like, oh, if this captain rode this horse to battle, I'm like, haha, a horse, I remember that forever. But then if you're like, okay, which historical event came first, I would probably not know unless it was just, super obvious, like pyramids versus like French Revolution. It's like, okay. But if it's more closely together, especially just happening in different areas, so one event didn't directly cause another event, like if we're talking about like Civil War in America versus French Revolution, I would be like, okay, wait, like let me like really think about this.
Yeah, so I think for history, I kind of could remember, yeah, like the general timeline of it all, and like also like the general kind of like national sentiments at the time, and like where the political kind of pendulum was like swinging, right? And kind of like notice that sort of pattern. But then, yeah, to like pin it that sort of thing down to like a specific event that happened on this day and with these people, like that just, yeah, that was very difficult.
Yeah, I feel like a SI Dom would probably remember that more. I don't remember that specifically very much. Nor do I even get the pattern. I usually don't even get the pattern. But what I do is like associate this historical thing, this type of behavior with like a book or a movie with another event. So I just see how like thematically all these things are the same. Um, yeah, that helps me kind of remember it. I think for stuff like math and physics, I just kind of imagine that an NI person would just get the concept once and then just apply it multiple times, which I could also do, but I feel like it's the opposite wave of influence. Like first I already know how to do it. Like first I just memorize how to do it. I memorize like each formula, or I just kind of see each formula enough times. I'm like, okay, like I get this formula. I have to like get so many formulas and then piece together the concept, and then I could like reverse apply that concept back into the formulas. But I have to do the formulas first. I can't like first go to the concept with like nothing and then yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that is true for how I learn, that I would find it helpful to kind of have an overall understanding of the subject matter first and then kind of delve into the little details. And um, I think maybe like the way I would approach reading a textbook would be just to kind of like skim like the whole chapter first, or like even like go to the beginning of the table of contents and know like, okay, where does this chapter fit into like the whole subject that I'm learning, and that and that would really help me. But if I just tried just to like read from like the beginning of chapter one and like ingest this paragraph and ingest that paragraph with all these little factual bits, I would just like read the whole thing and be like, I have no idea like what I just absorbed. Like I don't get it. I have to see the conceptual whole first.
No, that's so interesting because you know those like language arts tests where like they just take a paragraph out of like something and you have no idea what is happening and then they're just like, oh, tell us about this paragraph. I was so good at those. I'm like, you just take any paragraph from anywhere and I would just absorb all of it and be like, oh, this book could be about like 10 different things based off of my NE, like sprouting 10 different possibilities for what book this paragraph came from.
Yeah, yeah. I think I struggled with that a lot. Like I think there was like essay writing where you could just like write on any subject pertaining to a book or even multiple books, and I think that was okay once I kind of like read the book and maybe had more time to kind of like process where it was in like a societal, socio-economic, political context, some sort of context, right? And then I think I could start to make sense of it. But yeah, those sort of like commentaries where you just had to like select a passage and like pick it apart with all those like all the little details and themes inside it, that I really struggled with a lot.
Ah, I always resented that in language arts, even like on the university level, less so because I did film school, but still, I didn't understand why an essay couldn't be like five hypotheticals. I always wanted to make all of my essays like branch out into all these hypotheticals, but they were just like, no, you have to have like one conclusion that you reference in the introduction. It's like, no, why are you so close-minded?
Yeah, yeah, and I think I have that opposite problem of like maybe it takes me a long time to figure out the exact topic that I want to do, but once I do that, I feel like it's already this fully formed whole in my head, but it's a very simplified version of it. So I can kind of like break down the outline quite easily, but then I feel like that's all my NI has is like maybe just like, I don't know, several sentences here and there worth of like kind of boiling it down to this beautiful kind of distilled idea, and then trying to flesh that essay or, report or whatever out into kind of all these little subtopics and all these like specific details and instances, I think was kind of difficult.
It's so interesting, like when you're saying this, I just imagine this flask, or what are those things called? Like a silo? Like when you want to pour, when you want to pour water into like a tiny opening, and you have to have that thing to funnel, funnel, like flask, alcoholic, no, like a funnel. Yeah, yeah. Like I have this. I can't do the funnel thingy. Like it's like your NI is funneling all of the SE things into like whoosh, and that's my idea. But like for NESI, it's like NE is just like always branching outwards, so I always have contradictory ideas. It's just my mind is constantly in a state of like contradictory ideas that are not contradictory to me, but as soon as I want to funnel it into like one essay topic, I'm like, well, this is impossible. How am I gonna do this?